going to try to cut my introduction short. Well, that's kind of hard for me because sometimes I'm wordy, but that's okay. The things you see on the show may be incredibly different, things that you may not have ever seen before or heard before. This is why we always remind you of Ripley's Believe It or Not. Ripley had a lot of incredible things too, but many people believe it. And it's okay, you can believe in Ripley, but we want you to believe some of the things. And we talk about Ripley's Believe It or Not because belief is the key word in the God factor. And we've been talking about the God factor. The God factor is none other than that word, belief. If God says, he that believeth in me must first believe that I am, that I even exist before he can even come to God. And without faith, which is a byproduct of belief, it is impossible to please God. This is why God gets so angry when a lie is told, because who do you believe? When a lie is told, who do you believe? Do you believe the liar, or do you believe the truth, or do you know the difference? And so this is why we're trying to bring out some facts about social justice in a way that things that you've never heard, but they affect your the way you are in society. Now, society is crying a great deal about the joblessness state, economic depression that we're going through, and now we've had a serious event that has taken place, and so now we're wondering what will the future hold. Okay, I'm a person that lives in the present tense, and I can tell you it's an up and down merry-go-round type of thing. But rather than go on and on and on, I know you're excited. You want to know who our guests are, so I'm going to start with Andre Belous, and he's going to introduce our guests. So, Andre, who do we have here tonight?
Today we have a really special guest. We have the Robert Stevens, who's an apostle of this region, and his wife, Rebekah. And today I really want to talk to him about many, many different things. And I think it's, I'd like to kind of, for you to tell them what's your backgrounds and how did you become an apostle, and who were you before that?
Before I was an apostle, I was working with the federal government. I was working with the government as far as Blanc Host camps and loan scams with the FBI at 219 South Dearborn, which was in Chicago, Illinois. Prior to that, my specialty was finance. That's all I knew. So, finance, and I never wanted to be no preacher, but this is what God gave me.
He put us together, yeah.
He stripped me.
Well, that's amazing. From FBI to a preacher, you're gonna have to really expound on that. I find that difficult.
It was 18 years of my life.
Okay.
18 years of my life. I got involved with the FBI because I worked in certain jobs I really can't talk too much about.
Right. Okay.
But I had an uncle who was a federal judge in Chicago, and I was in some type of trouble.
Okay.
So he sent me downstairs to meet a couple of special agents. He had some marshals, because anytime you have a federal judge of this magnitude who was a chief judge, they always have U.S. marshals as protection and bodyguards and drivers. So he sent me downstairs, and I met with special agents Debbie Jones and some of her people. She was a field supervisor. And the judge said, I'm going to make a man out of you. He said, I don't want you doing this type of work, because you know better, working with a mafia on different levels of financing, whether it was in banking, investment, waste management. I dealt with financing on a casino level. I worked with Quincy Jones. I had his portfolio. I worked with Robert Krullich, the former president of waste management. He hired me to go to Japan to retrieve some of his monies back that he had over there at the Japanese bank, which was called Fuji Bank.
Okay.
Fuji Bank was in the World Trade Center in New York.
Wow.
So he sent me there to help him, but the judge saw something different. He said, no, I want you to come over here. So my background just extensive. I take about 2 hours.
Well, that's all right, because we're going to give you a chance to come back on the show. That's why we make the show short, because we like for people to come back, make our show interesting, because we have an audience that's worthy of it. Our audience really needs help, and and among things I need help, when you talk about finances, I know what that means. I was weaned on finances. I graduated from, I didn't graduate, I went to Cortez Peters College in Chicago before I was in out of high school. That sounds good. It's a good name. It's a business college. So anybody can go there. I learned the keyboard. They call it keyboard. We called it typing. And key punch. Those are big words in the old days because they ran big computers and stuff. My dad worked for the federal government out of Hines, Illinois. You couldn't get your Social Security check unless he programmed what we call the big monster. It was bigger than this room. That computer, one computer, and it did very limited things. All it did was punch numbers out, and that was it. You couldn't even make a colorful screen without numbers. Everything was numbers, even the screen. The screen was a series of dots and zeros and you want to make a figure, it was like that. But anyway, we could go on and on. I see we got a lot in common in that area. But and there's a number of subjects that we want to try to cover in such a short period of time. Before we get into those, I'm just going to throw out the stake today. But I also like to hear a little bit about your wife here. We cannot leave the ladies out.
No. But the beauty part about my wife is, not only she's my wife, but she's my friend.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You know,
I wish I could find a friend.
She's my friend. She's my girlfriend. She's my wife.
She's my friend.
She's everything I ever asked for in a woman that's wrapped up in one.
Amen.
So
that's wonderful.
I'm very proud and I'm very privileged to have such a wife that God has blessed me with.
Oh, you are blessed.
But the Bible said when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing.
Amen.
So I found my good thing.
Amen.
So this is my wife, Rebekah Stevens.
Okay, Rebekah, we are glad that you're here today. You want to say anything about all of this? We always grab people. If you come into the studio, you might wind up being behind the limelight. And so you have to always be ready. But that's what God always says, always be ready. So, I'm going to throw it out today. Osama bin Laden, this notorious man that was the head of the terrorists and Al-Qaeda, was reportedly slain on, I think it was Monday night or Sunday night. Sunday night. As Obama told some fiery, roasting jokes, little did we know that he was under immense pressure to get one of the most notorious villains in the history of this planet. Everybody wanted Osama bin Laden. In fact, I heard there was a $35 million reward, which was probably ignored because,
nobody wants to do it. Huh?
Nobody felt they could do it. What do you think about how do you think this is going to impact our society right now?
It's going to impact our society in a good way. The reason why I say that because, again, God put our president in office to handle such a task. He had President Bush there to start it. President Bush did his job when he got Saddam Hussein. He did his course. So God put Obama in office to finish up the course. We all have a race to run when God put us in such high positions and high power. So what's going to happen is the world is going to see that this president that we have is not playing. And I'm proud that he kept everything quiet for so long until he didn't say anything until it was done. That's the way I believe a leader should be. Be quiet about your steps, get the job done, then you can discuss it, then you can talk about it. But why talk about it if you're not getting nothing done?
Well, that's true. The thing that I want to ask you is that with the type of leadership that President Obama has, do you feel like there's going to be a new world order ushering in now, or will everybody give him the respect, or and now I let Andre talk a little bit about that. He's my zealot. He likes to talk about
Yes, he does.
Yes, I do.
There's a lot of hidden secrets out there about the hidden societies that runs this country. how do you see this all come together? First of all, do you think they could have gotten Osama bin Laden a lot sooner?
Oh, of course they could have, you know, but the God is in control. You got to remember that, and everything is going to be according to His prophecies. So it's not according to what our plans are or anything. He has actually everything written up in that book.
This book,
of course, it's not going to be talking about it like it says Obama there, but it talks about His plan. And certain things, couple programs before, I said there are certain things going to start happening in May. And this is only a beginning. And when I was watching Obama,
has happened in May.
The 1st May, I told you right from the beginning. In May is going to be
May 1, exactly.
Exactly.
That's
so
crazy. You know,
it's only a beginning, and the first thing Obama said is it's almost time of the peace coming. And I know there's one big thing in the Bible, say when they say peace and safety, the sudden destruction will come and overtake them.
Oh, that's true.
That's coming up a little bit later on. Right now, what I saw in the Bible prophecies, and I do study that very, very truly, we're approaching the time is actually of introducing the Antichrist.
Yes, it is.
And that's exactly what's this month might actually unravel. With the big news coming up about Osama, it's actually giving you like a decoy.
Right, okay.
It's a big deal happen.